viewers, hope you're all doing well. I'm Pramankur. I'm once again back for an interesting and important video for life and positive living. I'm an international speaker and a keynote speaker. Thank you so much for your wonderful support and the lovely comments. Today I'm going to speak on a very fundamental topic, that's about how to maintain relationship in life. We all know that relationship is something which is very important in our day-to-day life. Sometimes we get confused in this 21st century when we have a lot of targets and a lot of achievements, and we are trying to ensure that every time we remain abreast with the new changes of life. But somewhere we forget that human touch, and possibly that is why worldwide we can see that thousands of people are complaining of relationship break, heartbreaks, and every day we can see a lot of people of different age group are living a very miserable life. Why exactly we are really living such difficult lives where we are even not caring of relationship? We have become so much ambitious that we have no time for our loved ones. Every time we are busy becoming a part of the rat race to ensure that we always outperform and overpower others. But have we ever tried to wonder that what we really work and what we really do are for the dear ones and the loved ones? And if we do not value that relationship, then what is the importance of all these achievements? What is the importance of all these things what we do in life? You might think that in today's life, where everything is based on economy, everything is based on materialistic comfort, what is the significance of relationship and how much role it has to play in our success or in the prosperity of our life? Let me go back to the basics of nature and evolution. When life has started, we have come with empty hand, and perhaps when we are living the most ancient lives, we were not even having the fundamental means of living. But that time, human beings first learned that how to live in a community, and that is when the civilization came up. And from the immemorial times, if you see that people learned that what is the benefit of living in community, living in society, and perhaps they developed that human bond, and that is how we have come up to this age today. So what exactly is the secret of relationship? We know that human beings are emotional beings, and whatever we do in life, a larger part of our work and our activities are driven by our emotions. So whether we might think that it is our muscle power, it is our body which is doing the thing, but it is the mind which makes it play. And the human relationship, which is the most magnificent thing of our life, is which inspires us to go ahead in life. I often come across a lot of people who have everything in life and they are very rich, but sometimes they still complain of not having love in life. And that is perhaps why I think that in this world there are so many people who are having everything. They have a lot of money, they have a lot of resources, but in spite of everything, they are so poor. They are so poor that if they have anything, that is only the money they have. But they forgot that money cannot buy that unconditional love. The love, the relationship, which really makes a difference in your existence. If you are really a human being, then you should understand that it is love which makes you feel that human touch. So today I'll be giving you some secrets which really are important in life. A time when you think that when you would be growing older, you would basically need someone to take care, or you are really isolated from your dear ones, and you live a life where you are simply separated in an island, do you think you will live a happier life? Not really. Many times, often people come to me asking that why relationship breaks. Relationship is not only important in family, it is important everywhere, wherever you see. Even if you are working in a business, you are an employee, you are in a family, everywhere, relationship plays an important role. Whether you're talking even about your client relationship, your customer relationship, your employee relationship, relationship plays an important role. So let us understand that what exactly we do or what we really don't do which can really build or break a relationship. Relationship, sometimes if you see, is like that droplet of water in the lotus leaf which keeps on wobbling, and every time you move the leaf, the water droplet keeps on moving. So you have to be very careful in balancing that water droplet, or else it will slip out easily. Same as with relationship. Most of the time, people fall into love or they get into relationship with a thought that they will get something out of that. And as there is a saying, people think that I maybe have 50% and another person has got 50%, and when these two human beings with 50% meet, they become 100%. And that is perhaps sometimes they believe that relationship brings the completeness in them. This kind of relationship can last, but the day when they find that they are already done with each other, then the relationship falls apart. So my friend, if you really want to understand the secret of true relationship, that I'm telling you today, that a relationship cannot happen between two persons who are incomplete. A good relationship can always take place between two complete human beings. So if you are falling into a relationship just thinking that you have got something and you are expecting something for other, and you are always having a basic instinct of taking and giving something, it is always not going to work. So rather you think as a complete person, if you fall into relationship, how you can contribute something to that relationship, how you can enhance that relationship, how you can make sure that as two complete human beings you can give more meaning to a relationship. And that is the secret of bringing prosperity, love and happiness. If you are basically making friend with someone just with the greed of getting something, just by thinking that okay, if I make friendship with that person, I'll be getting this benefit, I will get this opportunity. And on the other hand, that person might think that if I really make friendship with this guy, I might use this person for this and this work. Do you think that is a true friendship? We always talk about a friend in need is a friend indeed. But how many of us are really friend indeed? Because we do not understand, or perhaps we don't want to understand. So if you really want to understand that how we can become a complete human being so that we can live a better relationship, then I must tell you, the secret of becoming a complete human being lies in the way how you are formed internally. The internal development of a true human being starts with spirituality. Yes, spirituality is the essence of building a complete human being. In a world where we always get education for science, for business, for management, and we have been taught that we are actually supposed to follow certain procedure, some protocols, some experiments, and that is how we can achieve different success in life. But in no school we are actually being taught that how we can exercise some behavior through which we can not only ensure that we get success, but we can also ensure that we understand the true existence of our life and why we are actually in this planet. We understand, and that is when we realize what is spirituality. Life is like a tree. If you ever try to understand a tree, you always see that a good tree is known by how good it grows up into a big tree someday. But the secret of a good tree lies in its roots, which is unseen to everyone. So, if you want to become a good human being, the basics of your life lies in the culture, the kind of practice, the kind of life you live. If you today in most of the families, people tell their children that why it is important to study in life, but how many families really help their children to understand that it is also very important to become spiritually richer? We know that we should go to temple or church or mosque in order to worship, but how many times we really understand the purpose of worshipping? Do we tell our children, do we know ourselves that going to these places and offering our prayers is just not enough, but getting a real identification of ourselves, meeting ourselves and understanding that why we should be connected to spirituality is more important. So as I said, like in a tree, how deeper the roots are, that decides that how stronger that tree will be. And that tree can never be uprooted by the hurricane, tornado, or the bigger storm of life. In the same way, if your values, if your beliefs are strong, then you cannot be ever uprooted in the storm of life. No matter how rough the life is, how much difficulties and how much struggle you have to face in life, but if your values are stronger, then no one can ever uproot you. You live an unshakable life. And finally, when we see the trunk of a tree, we always try to understand that a trunk is so big, so strong, that makes it feel richer, stronger. That is how you live your life. Yes, through your practices, through your behavior, and through your actions. People try to understand that a good tree should always have a good trunk. But you should remember that a good trunk is always considered when it has got the good roots. Because if you cannot get the good nutrition, you cannot get a good trunk. So, what is visible to our eyes is sometimes it is because something which is invisible down, which is actually acting behind us, which makes you more stronger in life. And finally, we come to the physiological part, that is our mind. So if you are talking about the physical fitness, physical toughness, then you must not forget that it is your mind, the physiology, which is very important. Your physiology is controlled by your psychology, that is your mind. So a healthy mind can always give a healthy body. So it is again the spiritual enlightenment which can bring that physical goodness and the wellness of health. These days, everywhere we see people talk about good healthcare practice, insurance facilities, In olden days, however, this kind of facilities were not available. So we might think that our life is so happy, we are having all comforts of life. But still you will find that people are often complaining of bad health, poor health treatment. People are not getting cured even with so many medicines and technology. Why so? The reason is we must be living in 21st century, and where we ourselves find to be very secure because with the presence of so much of technology. But one thing we have forgotten, that we may have a lot of health care, but a very few culture for health. How many times we really do the culture for health? How many times we really get up on time? How many times we really do exercise in a week? But rather we find it much comfortable if we have an ailment to visit a doctor, because we think that going to a doctor can be cured, can bring us solution. But going to the gym or going to a yoga class will not bring result, or perhaps even if we know, we try to be ignorant to that. So it's time for you to act and understand that the trunk of your tree can only be stronger when you have really started working for it. And that is first your mind. And when your mind is spiritually stronger, it can only support a healthy trunk. And finally, a healthy tree, we all know, have a healthy crown. And the crown means the branches, the green leaves, the fruits and the flowers. But these fruits, these flowers, these leaves are all for others. And even the shade which a good tree gives is also for others. So these are all the goodness. So a tree is known by its fruits, by its leaf and its flower. So today whatever you are gaining, you try to spread it out. Try to distribute it among those needy people who are really in search of this goodness. But very few really in life remember this thing. When you grow up in life, you often think that this is what we have achieved with our hard work, with our dedication, with the sacrifice. Why we should distribute the goodness of success with others? But remember, the more you distribute, the more you become richer. If you do not distribute, then you stay limited. And that is why division can multiply. This is when you divide more love, you get multiplied with more love, which comes back to you. So today if you have thought that I have got something or some knowledge and I will just limit myself within that, that will finish one day definitely. But if you think of sharing it to others, remember that will come 10 times back to you. So my friends, remember that life is like a tree. It is your spirituality which enhances your roots, which is unseen to others, and that is your trunk, which is all your work and how we live the life. And that is again when you have a good psychology, a good mind which controls your physiology. And finally the crown, which is the fruits of life, your success, your achievements, your goodness, and how much you can care for others, how you can distribute it among the mankind so that you can live the life like a tree. That's all for today. Thank you friends. Hope you have liked this topic, and if you really like this video, please give your valuable comments so that I can come back further for such interesting videos. Thank you so much. Namaskar.